So my name's Tanya and I'm an Associate Director in Allied Health, working in public health care. And I'm also just about to finish an executive MBA. Look, before I started, I found some of the concepts a little bit strange and a little bit foreign. And so it took me a little while to kind of come to terms with, some of the ideas. And I think sort of as I went through the program, I could see how they all joined together and how important kind of each component actually was. But it certainly took a little while to kind of actually get into it. And at first I didn't really take to the DVDs. But once I kind of actually started working through the program with Georgia, it all just made a whole lot more sense and linked together really well. Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is I actually would have said that both personally and professionally I was pretty happy. Most things, I was enjoying my work, things were good. My sort of personal and social life was good, but I kind of felt like there was just a little bit something missing, and that that a little bit of extra coaching would help me get to a different level than I was actually at that stage. And so I just somehow knew that there was a little bit more out there for me than kind of what I had at that point in time. But certainly have not, didn't realize how much of a difference it would make. Like I say, I thought I was pretty good, and I just can't believe the difference in terms of how much better life is since I've started the program. When I first started, my actual goals were a little bit unclear, and I was a bit directionless to start with. And as I worked through the program, it became clearer and clearer what I wanted to achieve. So I guess I sort of set a personal and professional goal, and I'll focus on the professional goal. Was one really just to develop my leadership skills within the role that I'm actually in currently, to be that leader that I wanted to be. So to be able to put some measures in place that would improve the way I behaved with my direct reports, and the way that I behaved with my peers, and the way that I behaved with people that I reported to. So that was probably the key thing that I was focusing on at that stage. And then my goals have probably progressed over time. When I look back now, I'm amazed at how many there are and that I've found. Definitely my biggest one, though, has been just my relationship with time and being busy. Prior to the program, I constantly felt like I didn't have enough time. So I always felt like I was chasing my tail, whether it was at work or in my personal life, just trying to get to social events, trying to kind of catch up with, just trying to fit everything in, really. So as I say, I'm working full time, I'm doing an executive MBA, I was doing the coaching as well, and trying to have some sort of life at the same time. And in the beginning, I just didn't think it was possible to have all of those things fit in together. And so I'd prioritize my work and my study, which meant that I was missing out on the fun bit of life. So I think that my change in attitude towards time and having enough time, and the work that I do being enough, has totally changed my life, really. So I now seem to be able to fit all those things in just amazingly, through doing the program. All of a sudden, nothing's changed. I've got the same pressures, I've got the same time constraints, but everything just somehow seems to fit, and I'm a whole lot more relaxed. So it's definitely a huge plus. I think the thing that I've really walked away with is how easy it's actually been. I've been very used to kind of having to work really hard to get where I thought I needed to go, and I think the first thing that I took away was actually it doesn't have to be difficult, and in fact with the right techniques in place it can actually be pretty easy. And I think one of the things that I've kind of got carried away with is like, oh wow, this is so easy, I can fix this, and I can fix this, and I can fix this, and kind of getting a little bit kind of trigger happy with the things that I want to work on and improve. So one, just how easy it has been, and two, I think some of the big things have been around understanding the terror barrier. So just that fear that comes up against, or that you come up against when you are trying to make some changes. That one's been really, really interesting. And I remember actually saying to Georgia, look, I don't think we need to do this chapter. I'm fine with it. I don't have any problems taking on new things. And that really has just been absolutely such an eye-opener in terms of really being able to connect to what I'm thinking and feeling and understanding when I am hitting the terror barrier and when it's actually intuition, and it's just me kind of going, okay, the gut feel is wrong, therefore it's not the right thing for me to do, and really being able to define the difference between those things has been really, really interesting. And just kind of knowing when I'm actually hitting the terror barrier has made a huge difference, because it's affected how I then go on and behave. So when I know I'm hitting the terror barrier, I can moderate my behavior, and I think it's made a huge difference to my outcomes and the results that I've got. So I think that's been a big one. The other one is just really understanding my mental faculties a bit better, so understanding my intuition better and understanding things like focus, and being able to develop focus a lot better. So that's something I'm sort of still working on at the moment, but I've been again amazed at the results that I've got with relatively little effort or input. So yeah, I think those are my biggies. I could probably talk about 3 or 4 more, but those are probably my key ones. I actually think I've needed all of those elements in order to make this work and in order to be successful with it. I've got the DVDs. I've also got the CDs that I just play in the car, which I found really, really worthwhile. But I think the combination of the CD, DVD, the workbook, and the actual coaching sessions, I actually can't see that I could have done without any of the elements in order to really learn as much as I needed to learn. So I think all 3 of those have been really, really crucial to putting it all together. So I probably wouldn't do it without one or the other. But I think just having the coaching has made, actually having that dedicated time to stop and actually focus on these sorts of things has been really worthwhile. Lots. So like I say, so many things that I kind of get a little bit ahead of myself in terms of going, oh great, now I can fix that, and now I can fix that. So I think definitely my stress levels have dropped enormously. Just because I'm not feeling like I'm chasing my tail all the time and feeling like I don't have enough time. And I think what that drive in terms of always feeling like I was under time pressure just had such a huge impact across the rest of my life in terms of how I communicated with people at work, how I communicated with friends, how much attention and focus I was actually able to put on my work. So when I always felt like I had a million things to do and I was juggling things, it was always really difficult to just focus and get things done that I needed to get done, including being able to go out and be social and relax and enjoy myself. So I think, I'd say that's been the biggest one. Like I say, I now get as much done, if not more. In fact, I probably get more done than I used to. And 3 or 4 times more relaxed than I was. So it seems quite ridiculously amazing, really. I remember when it sort of first started to come into play. I remember kind of saying to Georgia, "Really, is this it? Is it really this easy?" So it really has been quite eye-opening. I think with the format and the content, you really have to get into it before you can make a judgment about it. I would say you want to be at least 6 or 8 lessons in before you make any decisions. I really felt like they built on each other and that different pieces of the puzzle kind of came together at different points. So I think you need to push through all of that to really kind of get your full understanding. I certainly think Georgia's been great in terms of, again, making what may seem complicated very simple, and just finding really simple, easy ways of bringing what you're finding a challenge back down to a really simple way of fixing it. So in the beginning, certainly I really kind of relied on that help to get myself thinking the right way. And now, now I'm able to do that a lot more for myself. I still appreciate the kind of input and feedback. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do when this finishes, but I certainly feel like, I've absolutely got the tools, but I really enjoy it. It's nice to have that support as well. I don't think I could have done it by myself. I think I absolutely needed a coach. Just in terms of being able to interpret the information, to be able to get some real lived examples was really helpful as well. And to be able to reframe things sometimes. So there's certainly been times where I've maybe come at something from a certain angle, but then George has been able to put it into context for me, and then, I don't know, I've been able to have a lot more aha moments than I think I would have without it. And I've obviously valued the kind of personal one-on-one, so not doing it in a group, doing it by myself, because I have been able to just really focus 100% on what my needs are. And she's certainly been very flexible in terms of adapting what we do and the feedback to my current situations, which has been really helpful. It's the best thing I've ever done. I wish I'd found it earlier. I wish I'd found this 10 years ago. That would have been great. I've certainly would encourage, I'd love my sort of close family and friends to do it, just so that you've got that same mindset, you've got that same understanding. It just makes life so much easier. It really just makes the world a better place and an easier place to be in and operate in. And so I really kind of appreciate having people around me that really understand all those concepts as well. I kind of almost in a way struggle now with going, but it doesn't have to be like this, it's so easy. You don't have to struggle the way that you're struggling. There's a really easy way of fixing all of this and helping you feel and live better. So absolutely, I would completely recommend it to anybody that was, like I say, I thought I was pretty happy and pretty satisfied before I started. So I'm sort of blown away at what a difference it's made. So I'm certainly an advocate.